I'm happy to get this party started, basically. We're going to be focusing on Q1 2022. And what that means is basically, is your storefront okay? Are you ready? You know, are you missing anything? We have some great tips and advice and so on to share with you. I do hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season. It is a pretty magical time of year. And now let's try to refocus and make sure that we are ready to hit the pavement running for 2022. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Joanne Hennig to be able to chat about the questions your artist statement should answer. After that, I will also be sharing with you some storefront maintenance suggestions, and we'll be able to answer any questions. So before Joanne gets started, make sure your mic is muted. If you have any questions, definitely look for the chat icon below or wherever it may be on your app. Just be able to jot them down. And then at the end of our presentation, we'll be able to share with you and go over any questions that may come around. But yeah, Joanne, if you don't mind, come on in and let's take it away.
Hey, everybody. Just hoping you all had a great holiday. It was nice that the holiday fell on a weekend, and we were able to kind of extend our time with family and friends, which was really nice. I hope you all had the same type of an opportunity. I know that we had some disruptions with COVID here and there, but for the most part, it was a great holiday season. We've really enjoyed this last year, 2021. It's been a great learning curve for all of us, and working towards really growing our art businesses and sharing ideas and trying to come together as art photographers and really making a name for ourselves and for our art. So one of the things that, well, the first thing we're going to talk about today is the 5 questions that your artist statement should answer, which is something that some of us probably don't pay too much attention to, or if we do, they're very generic in their in the way they're written. So you know, I'd like to dig into this topic a little bit. I have five questions, so if you want to take notes, take notes. And we'll, of course, at the end of my segment, I'm going to pass things over to Jess, and then after she's her segment is finished, we'll open up the Q&A as we always do. So let's dig in. So 5 questions your artist statement should answer. So as nice as it is for you to let your art speak for itself, it's not always quite like that. Sooner or later, people are going to have questions about your work, and they'll look at your artist statement for answers. Your artist statement will either entice them to dig deeper into your art business or your style, or it will scare the sale right out of them. So obviously we want to have them working towards getting to know you better and to dig deeper into who you are and who you are, what your art represents. So in order to nail your introduction and to make your art business unforgettable, you have to attempt to answer these 5 questions in no particular order, but I'm going to give them to you in this order and see if maybe that helps bring you along with the way you have your statement written. So the first question we'd like to have your statement answer is, why do you make this type of art? So why are you drawn to the subject that you photograph? Why do you choose the themes that you photograph? Given a behind the scenes look into what drives your art is an excellent way to begin an emotional connection with your audience. So trying to add an element of why you are drawn to your subjects in the descriptions of your artist statement goes along with your images as well. So for me, I happen to be drawn to nature. I love to be out in nature. I love for my photography to evoke an emotion that nature gives me, an emotion of peace, serenity, calm, wonder. So that is the connection I like to have with my art buyers. And that is why I make the type of art that I make. So why do you make the type of art that you make? So simply answering that question is a great way to get your artist statement off and running into something that will grab your viewer, your art buyer's attention. Second question that we want to answer is, what does your artwork represent? Does your artwork represent something about you? Does it represent a message about the world? Does it focus on a piece of history or something to look forward and towards the future? Or does it just give enough detail to keep the reader interested in the ability to grasp your artwork better? Artist statements are intended to be an introduction. Like the old saying goes, always leave them wanting more, right? So, too much detail up front, and your readers will kind of lose their focus. Their eyes are going to wander away and maybe even click off of your page or your artwork. So, when I title an art piece, I attempt to bring out a curiosity in the viewer. So I think it's a good idea to do the same within your artist statement by giving them information about what your art represents, but leave them wanting just a little bit more. Pique their curiosity. It's always a good thing to do that. Question number 3, what inspires you? What connection do you have to your art? What motivates you? Are there other artists that inspire you to do the type of artwork that you do? Enthusiastically express why you create what you do. If you're not writing with passion about your inspired art, how would you expect an art collector to feel passionate about your art? Bring forward the joy, the gratitude, the feeling forward about why you are inspired to create your audience. I'm sorry, will create, and your audience will feel more enthusiastic about it too. So if you, again, if you're writing with passion, they're going to feel that passion inside and they're going to evoke that right back into viewing your artwork and potentially making a buy of your artwork. Question 4, how do you make your art? A lot of us are a little bit closed down in how we make our art photography. We don't want to share too much of what we do in, to give away our secrets, if you will. But why do you use certain gear, certain lenses, certain filters, etc.? What techniques do you use that may separate you from other art creators? Is there a connection between your process and your artwork's message? That's a big one. Sometimes there is not, but if there is, obviously grab that commentary and put that into your artist statement. Explaining what goes into an art piece can help art collectors grasp the significance and the scope of your work. If the way you are creating your art is ordinary, you may want to think about what extra elements in your post-production process makes your art extraordinary. Remember, adding that little extra to the ordinary, we get extraordinary. And that's what we're looking to do with our photography. We're not looking for point and shoot type of artwork. We want to see a little bit more creativity in the art pieces. And that's typically what we want to get into the artist statement, and at the same time evoke that emotion through the art piece itself. Okay, final question we want to answer is, what does your art mean to you? How do you interpret the meaning of your work? Now this question should be handled a little carefully. Notice that this question has no intention of directing your art buyers on how to feel or how to think. It's crucial to focus solely on your own understanding of what your art means to you, because everyone views art a little bit differently. Okay, so now I hope that, I know this was a quick segment, and we intended things to be a little bit quick today because I want to move things over to Jess shortly. But I hope by you following these 5 suggestions for writing a compelling artist statement, remember that the goal of your artist statement should be to deepen the connection with your audience and to leave just enough information out to pique their curiosity so that they choose to delve a little bit deeper into your artwork and into who you are as an artist. Your writing can either win or lose some of the great opportunities for art sales that are out there. And while you might think your art speaks for itself, many look at an artist statement as the first introduction to the brand. So take the time to answer those 5 questions. I'll be typing them into the chat room when Jessica does her presentation, and maybe we can go over a few of them a little bit more in detail during the Q&A. But I think at this point, what I'd like to do is pass the photo art marketing meeting over to Jessica Lempen. And I thank you all for being here today. Jess?
Excellent, Joanne. Thank you. I am a big believer that people buy from people. Like everyone wants to connect with somebody. And for, creating that artist statement that truly shows them who you are and what you're creating the art for really will help with that connection. All right. So I put together this little presentation for us. To me, I like having a visual. So this kind of goes hand in hand. If there's someone watching and they don't use Photo Art Pavilion, they're still able to use this information in their own platform, whatever it is. The goal is to really make sure that you're reviewing your online storefront as a potential consumer. Is everything the way you want it to be? So is your storefront ready for 2022? Let's take a moment to look at what needs to be reviewed. Oh, I have to click. Okay, sorry. Headshot. Number one, we are photographers. We're going to need to get in front of that lens. So I know most of us don't like being in front of the lens, but we do need a good, clean headshot. Here are a few questions that you can keep in mind when you review your image or if you're looking to take a new one. So was this image taken recently? I know we all like ones that are further in the past, just for certain reasons. But we all do change and develop as we go on. So just make sure when it was taken. Is my headshot a good reflection of myself and my style? So we're not always asking, for, a blank background and a very boring headshot. We want to see some personality. So this is definitely a time to shine and get a little creative with the headshot itself. Is the image bright and clear? So we are photographers. You got to make sure you have good lighting. It could be natural light, or if it's a studio, whatever it is, just make sure it's bright and clear. And then a second part that goes into that, is it blurry? Is it pixelated? We want a good quality, not maybe a cell phone shot that's been zoomed in and then isolate you. You are a photographer, you have the equipment. Ask a friend, you can set it all up, ask a friend to hit that trigger button, and then you're able to have that headshot in more of a professional manner. Your profile. So this is where your artist statement could go with the Photo Art Pavilion platform. In this platform, you're able to have the About the Photographer section. You're able to use links in there. So let's say if you're working with certain events, if you have shows, anything that's current, you can always have a link to go to further details on there, or to get tickets or whatever the case may be. So don't feel like you can't promote yourself in this area. We also want to be able to see the list of credentials that you've built up along your photography journey, any shows, gallery events, publications, anything else that you may have done with your art. Like I was just saying, if you're already currently in an exhibit, make it known, put that information out there, have a link there. As you're marketing, you're always driving people to your storefront. Make sure that all the details are up to date and ready to go. So now social media links. So on the Photo Art Pavilion platform, you're able to have your social media links connect to your storefront. The only thing I asked is make sure you double check your links. Are they working properly? Are they showing your connection to your Photo Art Pavilion storefront? So I took a screenshot of my social media. You can see here. Make sure you always use a full URL to your profile page. It goes the same for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and I believe we have LinkedIn on there as well. So check to make sure your social media accounts are connected correctly. I have the details here. If you want to take a screenshot, you go to your Photo Art Pavilion storefront dashboard, scroll to the bottom, click change for the account you like to add or update. Make sure you copy and paste the exact URL for your social media page. Pricing. Now we're jumping into 2022. You're able to really review all the details of your storefront, whether, again, you're in Photo Art Pavilion or any other platform. You got to make sure that, the numbers are set to where you feel your art stands and what it is you're looking to earn for all sizes and mediums that we offer. So it's time to review the commission rates for 2022. Are the numbers in line with what you're looking to earn for each size or medium that's purchased? Now's the time to adjust. Just make sure you click on that below that savings button when you're finished making those adjustments. I'd hate to see you go through the entire spreadsheet and then not hit save. So definitely watch that. Let's see, the blog. So as I've said in the past few videos, blog posts have a longer lifespan than a social media post. So in theory, you create your blog post, and then from there you use social media to drive people to the blog post. Now the blog post also stands as its own HTML page. So Google and other search engines are able to index those pages. So blog. It's time to blog in 2022. Start using your blog feature. This is a great way to feature a recent trip, your favorite category, and so much more. The blog posts don't need to be long. Make sure to add links to your art. As an added bonus, all of our blog entries are fed into the main blog, doubling your exposure. So basically, if you're writing a blog post for your storefront, once it's reviewed and approved, it's then also added to Photo Art Pavilion's main blog feed. So there's two different ways for people to see your blog posts. Oh, I'm sorry. I went one step forward. Okay, coupons. So the holiday season did just end. However, if you're an artist that likes to incorporate coupons in your marketing, there's always different subjects and themes that you can do throughout the seasons to come. So you can easily add a coupon as an incentive in your marketing efforts. Good idea to keep the codes short and related to your marketing message. Make sure to also clean out any old codes by clicking on the X next to them. So again, this relates to the Photo Art Pavilion platform. If you could see my little mouse here, once it's active and you hover over your code, there comes a little X, you're able to click on that, and then that just cleans up your coupons that you currently have available. Very easy to create a coupon code. You're just going to put in your details. So for me, for the new year, I have for the coupon code New Year. I then have it set up as a percentage discount. It was set for 15%, and I just have it expiring January 31st. So now when I go to make some now when I go to make some social media posts, I'm able to use coupon code New Year in my marketing. So that's always a great thing to be able to add the incentive for your art buyers. Last but not least, artwork. Now is the time to review your current artwork. Your art is the product you're selling, so be mindful what is currently being offered. Here are some questions I use when reviewing my own work. Am I still presenting my best work? Will someone want to display this in their living room, dining room, or even conference room? Would this look good printed at 5 feet? So these are usually the questions I ask myself when I review my art. Now, the other thing is, as let's say if you owned your own gallery or if you had your own store, no matter what, you would always go in and clean it up and dust it off and make sure you're presenting your best items to the market. So same thing goes here. So this is just a little bit of a digital platform, but you're able to review your products, which is your art. And you got to make sure that it's still relevant. As artists, we all evolve. Our journeys do tend to change and move on a little bit. So it's always nice just to double back and just make sure you're still presenting your best work. We always want to make sure we help you in doing so. And that is it as far as my sharing of the portion for today. Joanne, do you have anything you wanted to add to my storefront list of what to review and go, looking into quarter one?
Well, first of all, thanks for the presentation. I thought it was great. It's the first time I'm seeing it, Jess, which I thought was really well put together. I think one of the mistakes a lot of photographers make is whether you're with Photo Art Pavilion on our platform or you're working on your own website or however you're presenting your artwork, we make the mistake of putting all of our photography up on whatever platform for display, and we just leave it sitting there. We keep adding new to the top, layer, 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 layer. And it gets to the point where if you're not cleaning out some of the old stuff, it's really degrading your newer work. I know for myself as a photographer, I've evolved over time, and we all have. We grow in our art, we grow in our ability to create and present new artwork to the world. So be mindful of what I think is the most important step out of all of those things. Be mindful of what you're showing in your live store. If it's not your best work, take it down. No one's going to miss it. If they're not utilizing it already, take it down. Okay. The other elements of the Photo Art Pavilion site that I think are underutilized right now. I agree with Jessica. I agree the blog is definitely underutilized. I believe there's opportunities there. No one needs to write a 5-page dissertation on what happened when they went out into Mashonack Park with their camera, but you can write a paragraph or two about a particular image and bring that image to the forefront of not only your portfolio, but for the entire population of Photo Art Pavilion. Because as Jessica mentioned, when you write a blog, it not only appears in your blog on your page as a blog post, but it also appears on the entire website, on the main blog button on the website. So you're getting a double exposure of your story. And when I've written a few blogs, I always make sure that I have a link in the bottom of the blog that links directly over to my artist page. I also make sure that I have links within the blog that link over to the image I'm featuring, and maybe also to other areas of my my page that I want others to see. So be mindful of that, and just always keep a fresh eye and a fresh look on your storefront. We're heading into 2022. It's exciting to have Photo Art Pavilion growing, evolving, and I just want to make sure that all of you that are working with us are utilizing all the tools for yourself to get the best out of it. So that's really all I have to answer. Respond to you, Jess.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's definitely the details of the blog, adding the links to the store, having your name on there. These are all great ways to keep connected.
Yeah. Just think of it, 2022, just keep your spirits high, keep your motivation high and your gratitude high, and everything's going to fall into place. I always like to go into a new year looking in the back a little bit, look in the rear view mirror just a little bit, but I like to turn on the headlights and look forward and set some great intentions for the new year and make things happen. I hope you guys can do that. All right.
Oh, and yep. And I was going to say too, go back 1 month and there's a great YouTube video on our channel that talk about just that.
Yeah.
So refresh your mind.
All right. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Take care.
January.